Welcome to box plots, commonly known as a box and whisker plot. By the end of this lesson, you will understand how to calculate a 5-number summary and use the information to create a box and whisker plot. Pause this video and make sure you copy this into your theory book. Underline or highlight the sections of the learning goal as you felt that you've achieved them. During this unit, you'll come across the words range, interquartile range, standard deviation, 5-number summary, and box and whisker plot. Please copy these into your book. As we learn them, I'd like you to write down the definitions. When we're talking about box plots, we need to, basically what we're looking at what's called the measure of spread, or the variation between the data. So the three terms that we're looking for will be range, interquartile range, and standard deviation. If we look at the term range, obviously the range is the difference between the smallest and the largest, and the formula that we use is the maximum number subtracting the minimum number. When we're talking about the interquartile range, we'll be talking about the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. Now, this is achieved by subtracting the lower quartile from the upper quartile. The first thing you need to do when given a set of data and asked to create a box plot is you need to put the data in order from smallest to largest. So looking at this set of data, the first number that I see that would be the lowest would be 10. Then I'll go through and see if there are any other 10s, and then go through for 11, crossing them off as I go so I don't lose my place. I'm going to pause the video now. I'd like you to put that data in order and then come back to the video. So just very quickly, check to make sure you've got every box filled. Your lowest number is 10, your highest being 24. So from this list, we can immediately calculate the range. So remember, the range is the highest number subtracting the lowest. So the highest number being 24 and the lowest number being 10. So our range is 14. When we're talking about the interquartile range, what we're looking for is the exact centre number of the lowest half of the data. We know that there are 48 numbers in the data, so if we halve that data, we know that there should be 24 in the lower half and 24 in the upper half. My suggestion to you would be to work that out straight away and then to write out the first 24 numbers. If you could do that very quickly, pause the video and then come back. Once you have filled in the lower half of the data, what you need to do now is you need to find the centre number. So if we look at this number, this amount, it's an even number, so therefore we're going to have two numbers that are in the middle. First of all, what you need to do is look at 24. Half of 24 is 12, and we'll count 12 in from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we'll put a circle around that number. Then I'm going to count 12 in from this end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to circle that number. So what we have is we have two numbers. If the numbers were different, we would add them together and divide them by 2. That is your lower quartile or your QL. When we're talking about our upper quartile, we're doing exactly the same thing, except we're writing the rest of the numbers down, so the lower half of the numbers. If you would like to fill that in, and then we'll come back to it. Again, we have an even amount of numbers. We have 24, so I'm going to count 12 in from each end and find my centre numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, the numbers are the same. We know it's going to add up to 18, but if the numbers were different, I would be doing it exactly like this. So from this, we can calculate our interquartile range. So when we look at our upper quartile being 18, our lower quartile being 13, so our interquartile range is 5. If you would like to fill that in, we'll go on to the median. In order to complete a 5-number summary, we also need to know the median. Because there are 48 values in the data set, we know that the median is going to be between the 24th and the 25th value. Or if we split it in half, we know it's the 24. So if we count in 24 from either end, we can get our 2 centre numbers. Our centre numbers in this case are both the same again, and that will work out to 15. So if you can remember from our previous data set, we know that our minimum number is going to be 10. Our lower quartile, which we worked out here, is going to be 13. Our median, which we have just calculated, will be 15. Our upper quartile is 18, and our maximum number is 24. These are the 5 numbers that you will need to calculate or to construct a box plot. If you could fill those in, please, and we'll go on to the next part. Now this is a box plot, sometimes known as a box and whisker plot, and this just shows you the spread of your data. You can see here between here and here, this is your interquartile range, and you'll see where our 5-number summary comes in. Our minimum value, our lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and the maximum. This is obviously called the box, and these are your whiskers. When we're talking about an interquartile range, it is usually between, as we know, the lower and the upper quartile, and that is represented by the box of our diagram. So if we were asked to use our 5-number summary to construct our own box and whisker plot, the first thing that you would need to do is you would need to construct a number line. Looking at my lowest value being 10 and my highest value being 24, I would start my number line at 10 and I would go to 24. When we're constructing our number line, we need to make sure that our numbers are evenly spread. I'm going to start with my minimum number, which was 10. And I'll finish with my maximum number, which was 24. I've marked mine previously, but if you would like to measure evenly out on your number line and put in all the missing numbers, I'm going to count up by 2 just to make it a bit easier for myself. So when I'm counting up by 2, I'm just going to go 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 and 24. We'll refer back to our 5-number summary now, and if we just lightly mark, our minimum is going to be there. Our lower quartile is 13, so it's going to be approximately there, remembering that our lower quartile is the start of the box of our diagram. Our median is 15. Again. Our upper quartile is 18 and our maximum value is going to be at 24. Always use a ruler to draw your diagram. It makes it look neater and it's easier to draw conclusions from your diagram. If you would like to construct your own box and whisker plot and then come back to the video. Looking at the visual of the box and whisker plot or the box plot, you can see that the majority of the people that attend the skate park are under the age of 18. 24 is what we could possibly call an outlier, but we'll go into that more as we progress through the unit. For now, if you could complete your box and whisker plot, and we'll move on to the activities.